Micro, main.
Merci. All right, so hi everyone, my name is Jérome, so I work at Nokia Deepfield. And maybe to address the elephant in the room, so Nokia does not sell mobile phones anymore. I know that many of us loved our 3310s, but these days we are in the network infrastructure business, and especially so on the router side, so on which much of the internet runs. What I'm focusing on in my day-to-day is really on DDoS security research, and I focus really on some of the current and emerging threats. And to do that, so I use a lot of some of the telemetry from our collaborating customers, so NetFlow data especially, and also so we do crawl the internet, so all v4, all Active-V6, to understand what type of devices, what type of services are running. And we more recently also have been doing some active proxy discovery, so all the residential proxies that Chris, for example, and Alex talked about a little bit later. So we are doing that discovery. And that comes into the context where we know that for DDoS, sort of for the past 5 years, give or take, a lot of the DDoS was botnet driven. So now it's about 60% of DDoS is generated from botnets. A lot of them from MikroTik routers, a lot of them from DVRs, as we also heard from yesterday. Sometimes we see some more fun stuff. So we, for example, see some parking meters in Korea. We see some open Jupyter notebooks that are abused to send DDoS to Minecraft servers. So we see a little bit of everything. When we talk about DDoS botnets, it's about 1 million nodes that we know of, and about tens of thousands sources per attack. And this looks like this to us, at least. We see some IP addresses where we know what kind of devices are running that can be compromised. Red is when we have seen them in attacks. And what changed is right now, so this is what it looks like to us for the past 6 months. So those purple tags are residential proxy tags that we know of. So we see a very high overlap, and this is pretty recent, where a lot of the IPs that we see involved in those volumetric DDoS attacks, and this is a big one here, right here, are also proxy nodes. And why this is what this matters and what changed is that proxies are more difficult to discover. We can't directly crawl them, so very often they don't have open port that we can crawl and understand what they do. And they are a much more widespread problem where, Chris talked about some of the actors there. We know that Batbox is installed from the factory onto those Android TV boxes, and it's about 100 million nodes, so 2 orders of magnitude higher than DDoS botnets. We are tracking about 30 million of them daily, and the size of the attack is also much higher with hundreds of thousands of sources. And last slide, this is, we're working on this problem with the industry, so happy to talk about it later to see how we can tackle